And ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Vincent De Paul. I'm always asked why do I have a French name which should be pronounced Vincent De Paul. My two westernized not to have an African name, and I remind them when you go down to Congo, De Paul is common there. To South Africa, actually I was being asked, are you from South Africa? So that is my name. Unfortunately, I was not given a vernacular name. So after this, don't ask me what is your real name, because always people think that this is a pseudonym. So welcome to Mystery Publishers, our Stories Redefined Anthology launch. Stories tell people's lives, cultures, and ways of life. Every generation and epoch has its stories, told by those who take it upon themselves to take the curator's responsibility. Writers immortalize such aspects of life. Thus, African stories have evolved from oral to written literature and straddled generations. Today, we celebrate African literary giants, both men and women, without going to any particular name. Those men and women who marked the path we are walking today. There is an African proverb which says, the youth can walk faster, but the elders know the road. Those great men and women of the past, some of them still alive, they know the road. However, trust men lords and ladies to join search with means to the contrary, where they say, the elders may know the road, but the youth have Google Maps. So it is in writing. We have our own Google Maps. So the celebrated little giants at their time defined the stories Africa needed at that particular time, sometimes at the cost of their lives or at the risk of being politically incorrect. And we have our own Google humor. Yesterday we were launching his French translation of Drinks in a Time of War. And you listen to the conversation, it really mattered at that particular time, still matters today. However, times have changed. Today's writers have writing Google Maps. We no longer follow in the footsteps of these great men and women. We respect them for the foundations that they laid, but we owe it to our generations and future generations to chart a new path. We need to tell our stories differently to shape the thinking of future generations, rewrite history, and create an alternative path for future African writers. It is on this premise that Mystery Publishers was founded. First, you look at our tagline is to redefine African stories. Not always to write about stories of war, starvation, tribal clashes, always fighting the government. We need people to tell stories that are entertaining. So we need our readers to stop going for John Grisham, James Patterson from the West. And this is a discussion we had in the morning about the African Stories the Writers Guild. Why are we seeing so many African literature on our streets, in our bookshops? It is because we have lagged behind. So we publish pop literature stories showing the current African state of affairs and mapping out what a future Africa looks like. One of the points in here is talking of Vision 2050. When we are showing the launch rail, we could see the map of Africa with some pins. The point is looking at an Africa where we are one together. There is no boundary separating us. Education is one. The vision that Muammar Gaddafi had. However, we have enemies who are against such progress. But it is something that can be done. This may only be through injecting new thinking into African writing architecture. How? Bring in new voices and give them a platform and the opportunity to shape our future. war, starvation, diseases, imperialistic tendencies of nations, and other left-wing literature may highlight a perpetual state of dystopia of our countries. But can there be a silver lining in this? Yes, it can be there. You can see it and extrapolate it. Because once we are populated with this dystopian literature, we will always be thinking Africa is a dark continent and it will be dark forever. But if we have a new voice showing we have hope for Africa and populate it to the world, we are going to see us differently. So our Stories Redefined aims to rewrite such narratives, show an Africa capable of rising to the times of Mansa Musa, when the richest man in the whole world was from Africa. When the richest man alive hailed from Africa, and stories were not of a dark continent, a powerhouse Africa, an Africa lighting the path for the rest of the world to follow, despite its darkness. So in 2021, we launched this anthology. It was just from our thinking. We need to welcome and create this platform. So we received 13 poetry submissions from 4 African countries. That is Kenya, we had 9, Nigeria, we had 1, Uganda, we had 1, and Zimbabwe 1. But we published 12 because 1 was rejected, it did not meet the requirements. This year, we have received 18 submissions from the same countries, but only the volume has increased. From Kenya, we received 11 stories, Nigeria we received 5, Uganda 1, and Zimbabwe 1. And this raises the question, what is so unique with these countries? They are the only ones we are receiving content from, yet we are yet to judge from next year. However, at this time also, I would like to appreciate the assistance I received from some of our friends, like James Mura, who runs an African little website. He helped to publicize this, and that is why we received those 18 submissions. Last year, those who participated, they were being begged by friends, please submit. And one of the friends who was doing that was Jerusha. She was begging her friends, please submit, submit, submit. All the submissions last year were from begging. This year, we had assistance of James Murwa, that publicizing, and without asking anyone, nicely, they submitted, and we have that. However, we will publish 13 stories. 5 of them have been rejected. Reason is, they did not meet our submission guidelines, and others did not respond to our emails to sign the publishing contract. One thing we want to be and do as mystery publishers is ensure integrity, openness in the publishing process. There are very many anthologies that are calling out for submissions, but you never see them. We ask as where does it go? So the first step, and I see some of the others who have contributed around. The first step is agreeing that you are going to sign a contract, because you have obligations as a writer. During editing, the editor is not going to ghostwrite for you. We are going to make suggestions for you. We ask you, are you agreeing with this? And the agreement is specifying that. There are a lot of things others do not know, like rights. Many others do not know the rights they have. We have specified the kind of rights you are giving us. We are asking for exclusive right to publish your story for 6 months. After that, you can publish your story wherever you want. But we retain the anthology copyright such that you keep on. You need also to learn issues like those, and we are going to teach the others who will be coming, to teach them about rights. The main challenge we face is others not approaching their writing professionally. That is, not doing due diligence before submitting. Some of the submissions was, we asking for a maximum of 1,000 words. However, someone submitted 1,500 words, 2,000, and when you ask them, they say, I did not see it. Yet we have submission guidelines. This means others are not reading such things. And this is not even for this anthology. Even when the manuscripts we are receiving, we have submission guidelines, publishing procedures. Others are not reading to see the kind of manuscripts you are looking for. Poor manuscripts, poor communication skills when communicating with the publisher, and poor writing skills. This communicating with the publisher is, even if you know the publisher in person, when you are writing them an email, you introduce yourself properly, you introduce your manuscript, you introduce the kind of writing you are doing. We hope this anthology shall be the vehicle for new age African writing that we envision to be. The challenge is, many a time in Africa, ideas die with the originators. Nigerian writer Ken Saro-Wiwa summarized it well in his short story, Africa Kills Her Son. This happens when we are selfish, we don't see and support the vision, don't build our own, because we are very okay reading the Western culture instead of giving our authors the opportunity to tell us their stories, and engage in naive competitions instead of collaborating. Together we stand, and alone we hobble and ultimately sing. So it's a call to redefine the narratives that we know, to take control of our stories, our future, and yes, if we are committed to that, we can. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for your time.